With a new season comes new weapons, and holy hell, there's a ton of new weapons for this season. Let's focus on the Splicer ones though. Heads up everybody, my name is SentinelGray and welcome to the channel. So, like I said before, this season came with a whole bunch of new weapons, which of course I will be making videos on in time, so just give me a little bit. For now, I want to cover the weapons we get from the override activity and what I think people have been calling the Splicer weapons. In total, there is a auto rifle, a pulse rifle, a sidearm, a grenade launcher, a shotgun, and a machine gun. Let's start with the auto rifle, Chroma Rush. So before I was even able to grab this weapon at the start of the season, I knew I was in love. It is a 720 RPM auto rifle, also known as a rapid fire frame auto rifle, which means it has more reserves and has a faster reload when the magazine is empty by nature without any perks or other traits on the gun. Now, talking about the perks, this thing can roll with some absolutely insane rolls. In your third column, we have things like Feeding Frenzy and Subsistence when you want to just shred out a ton of enemies, and believe me, this thing shreds. For controller players, this thing can roll with Dynamic Sway Reduction and Moving Target to make this gun easier to control since the fire rate is so high. And finally, there are two new perks in Heating Up and Tunnel Vision. Heating Up increases your accuracy, stability, and gives the gun a more vertical recoil pattern whenever you get final blows with it. And Tunnel Vision increases your target acquisition and ADS speed once you reload after a kill. In my personal opinion, Heating Up is the far better perk out of the two of them when going for weapons for PvE. Finally, in the fourth column, Chroma Rush has just an awesome selection. Perks like Kill Clip and Rampage can keep the damage going as you continue to slay out, while having Thresh and Wellspring will make sure your abilities come back to you with the quickness. Lastly, we have Tap the Trigger, yet another super useful perk for you controller players to keep the gun steady, and another new perk called Adrenaline Junkie. With Adrenaline Junkie, any kills you get with your grenade increases the damage output you deal with your weapon. This damage increases the exact same as Rampage. 1 kill gets you 10% damage boost, 2 kills get you 21% damage boost, and 3 kills get you 30% damage boost. Now with all these new and highly sought after perks, what do you want? Well, in the third column, I think it's a clear-cut winner in Subsistence, and in case the ammo in your mag runs dry, you have the intrinsic effect of a rapid-fire frame to increase your reload speed. In the fourth column, however, I'll let you decide. I know the one I use on a regular basis has Subsistence and Rampage, which in my opinion is the most synergistic role that this gun can roll with. Killing enemies and gaining ammo and damage while you do so is really hard to pass up on a gun. Next is the Pulse Rifle Grid Skipper, which is also a rapid fire frame weapon, so those intrinsic abilities that Chroma Rush have apply here as well. Grid Skipper's third column leaves a lot to be desired, but it's not a total loss. It can roll with things like Slideways, Firmly Planted, Moving Target, and Killing Wind. Along with that, you have the two new perks in Tunnel Vision and Heating Up. Since my area of expertise is in PvE stuff, in this column I want nothing else but Heating Up to roll on it. Since it's a rapid fire frame, the stability and recoil direction you get will make this thing a 3-shot burst laser, so there's not much recoil control you need to do. In the fourth column, we have Frenzy, Adrenaline Junkie, Thresh, High Impact Reserves, Multi-Kill Clip, and Snapshot Sights. Overall, some pretty solid options. I personally have a Grid Skipper with both Frenzy and High Impact Reserves, and both of them work extremely well. Both of those roles also have Heating Up on them as well, but if I had to choose one you should go for, it is probably Heating Up and Frenzy. It is just too good of a combo to pass up on this gun. Next is the sidearm known as the Farewell. To me, sidearms are usually really good or really bad, and it's based on what it can roll with. I'm sure there's a number of roles that people can get to work on the Farewell, but I only have one role that I would want. In its third column, it can run with Tunnel Vision, Heating Up, Rangefinder, Full Auto Trigger, Subsistence, and Moving Target. There's only one perk here that sticks out to me, and that's Subsistence. Since it's buff, it's definitely become too good to pass up on almost any weapon it can roll on. In the fourth column, you can get Frenzy, Adrenaline Junkie, Unrelenting, Multi-Kill Clip, Thresh, and Vorpal Weapon. It's a clear-cut choice in Frenzy here. Mix that with subsistence and you have ammo as long as you can kill and damage and reload speed as long as you stay in the fight. There's no reason why you wouldn't want this role if you're a sidearm user. So the grenade launcher for this season took me by surprise. Not only is it because it's our first kinetic grenade launcher, but also because when I first looked at it and what it can roll with, I wasn't impressed until I really took a look at it. In its third column, ignition code can roll with field prep, slideways, surplus, ambitious assassin, quick draw, and lead from gold. At first I was disappointed because it couldn't roll with auto-loading holster, but slideways could act as a pseudo auto-loading because it does the same thing, just not passively. In the fourth column, it can run with Rush, Vorpal Weapon, Demolitionist, One for All, Frenzy, and a new perk this season called Danger Zone. What Danger Zone does is increase your blast radius for any explosion type weapons while you're surrounded by enemies. Like, I get what they were going for, but with Danger Zone, it essentially makes you a suicide bomber to a whole bunch of enemies. And there's much easier and far less deadly ways to accomplish the same thing without getting yourself killed or close to that. I'm looking for 2 roles on this thing. One role is blinding grenade, slideways, and demolitionist, which should help with my reload problem that I mentioned before, but also I want the ability to switch between blinding grenades and spike grenades while also having slideways and Vorpal Weapon, just in case I want to deal damage during, Grandmaster Nightfalls or something like that. Next is the Slug Shotgun Sojourner's Tale. Overall, this one isn't too impressive, but there are a few perks in here that I know a few people will appreciate, myself included. I've been trying to look for a elemental or a energy weapon to replace Heritage if I'd never had to use it. This weapon might be the one that I want to go for. In the third column, we have Rapid Hit, Tunnel Vision, Threat Detector, Auto-Loading Holster, Quick Draw, and Moving Target. Since I am potentially trying to emulate Heritage here, auto-loading holster is going to be the one for me, so I don't even have to think about it. I can use it whenever I need to, and auto-loading is there to make sure I have ammo in the gun anytime that I pull it out. In the fourth column, we have Killing Wind, Frenzy, Adrenaline Junkie, Dragonfly, Surrounded, and Opening Shot. So to accompany my auto-loading holster, I'd love to have Frenzy to roll along with it. This is probably the closest I'm going to get to a recombination, reconstruction Heritage in the energy slot, so it's what I'm going for. And I think it's able to deal a whole bunch of damage, especially if you're in the middle of a fight with Frenzy and having auto-loading holster just reload your weapon for you. I think it's too good to pass up. Finally, we have the machine gun Shattered Cipher. This machine gun is the same type of frame as Chroma Rush and Grid Skipper, which means it's a rapid fire frame and has all the benefits that come with it. Deeper ammo reserves and faster reload when the mag is empty. Unfortunately, there are better options than Shattered Cipher in the game for machine guns. The perks that it can roll with aren't that impressive. The third column can hold Tunnel Vision, Heating Up, Field Prep, Under Pressure, Slideways, and Auto-Loading Holster, while the fourth column can have Unrelenting, Snapshot Sights, Surrounded, Zen Moment, Rampage, and Adrenaline Junkie. Personally, the only role that I would want is Heating Up and Rampage. Because this thing can spit out so many rounds, it's easy to get down to the bottom of the mag so you can reload it more quickly. However, when you're spending those rounds, it would help to have the stability and damage buff that those 2 perks give. If you choose to use this thing, it's mainly going to be for crowd control and ad clear, so those perks are going to work extremely well for that. Out of all of the Splicer weapons this season, I see the most utility and use coming from Chroma Rush. The amount of high tier perks it can roll with gives you an insane arsenal, so you can use this weapon for ability or super build or just to slay enemies outright. This is already a favorite of mine before I even got my hands on it because of what it can roll with and it being a 720 RPM auto rifle. Most of the people I play with online at least have one Chroma Rush they use on a semi-regular basis. But if this gun isn't for you, that's perfectly fine. There are tons of other good weapons to go for this season. That is going to be it for me for today, everyone. I'm going to have a video come out on each of the group of weapons that we got this season, so look for ones on the Vault of Glass weapons and the future War Call weapons we got as well. Remember, if you like the video and you want to see more, please leave a like and subscribe. Leaving a like on the video really helps out the channel, like you have no idea, and I really appreciate it. But if you're more interested in live content, I stream on Twitch every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll have a link for that down below in the description box. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I'll see you all next time. And remember, keep your heads up and be kind to each other. Bye now.